Hey everybody, it's Dan with Pain Free You. It's a beautiful day. It's a little bit overcast, but still gorgeous, nice, 70s. So today's topic is going to be, there's nothing wrong with your brain. So, a couple of nice relaxing breaths first. Breathe in the confidence. Breathe out the skepticism and doubt. Breathe in the peace and safety. Breathe out the fear. And so, here we go again with the construction noises down the hill. Hopefully that's not too distracting for you. So, there's nothing wrong with your brain. Can't tell you how many times I hear from people who in their comments or in their emails to me or messages to me start saying things like, well, I'm trying to do this, but my brain won't let me, or my brain doesn't do this or that. I had a recent dialogue in some YouTube comments with somebody who was having some withdrawal symptoms coming off of benzos. And not a doctor, never been on those heavy-duty hardcore medicines, never been through withdrawal of those medicines. So my thoughts here are simply this, just my thoughts. But if we believe we're broken, or if we believe we're going to get that list of side effects from withdrawing from a certain medication, we're more likely to get them. I mean, I've talked in the past about how, researching online and seeing all the horror stories and the worst case scenarios, and people who had this type of pain often get that kind of pain, and there is no cure and everything else, and before you know it, we form this really strong belief that, man, we're screwed. Our body's broken. And in this one lady's case, she believed that the medication damaged her brain. She's got brain damage. Literally using those words. And no judgment on this lady. It probably feels that way based on her symptoms. But I don't believe we have anything wrong with our brains. Perhaps, the medication affects the receptors and changes the wiring a little bit. But that's not damage. That's just different wiring. You've heard me talk dozens of times about how the brain wires and loses the connections based on what we place our focus on. And so the medications can perhaps change the connections in our brain a little bit. But that doesn't make it permanent, because our brain is very plastic. Neuroplasticity means it can wire and disconnect based on where you're placing your attention. So instead of forming this belief that my brain is broken, my brain is damaged, my brain won't let me do this, my brain won't let me do that, let me ask you a question. Whose brain is it? Right? Look, brain damage happens. You have a traumatic fall, get hit in the head, something. You can get brain damage. That's a whole nother animal. That's not what we're talking about here. But whose brain is it? Is it your brain? Or does your brain operate all on its own with no input from you? Right? You can get up in the morning and you can decide, I'm not going to work today. That's you. That's you. You're consciously aware of that and making that conscious decision. Your brain doesn't have control over you. The conscious mind can control the inputs so that the subconscious mind performs as we want it to. Which is why this is not a healing process. There's no damage in the brain. There's nothing to heal, right? We just need to teach and learn, and therefore wire that we're already okay. There's nothing wrong with us physically. Our brain's fine. Let me talk about this for a minute. So many people feel like they're battling their brain. It was a relief. Oh, dear Lord, that's great. TMS, I'm not broken physically. Awesome. Oh no, I've got a mental problem. I've got emotional problems. My brain is doing this to me. What's wrong with my brain that it would give me this pain? How did I get so unlucky that this would happen? And so, concluding that there's a problem with your brain and that your brain is doing this to you, and I'm battling with my brain, I'm fighting with my brain, Remember, fighting means you're in danger, which means your pain's going to continue, because when you're in danger, the pain's going to be there. Why? To stop you and protect you, right? So, it's your brain. It's not broken. It's not damaged. You don't have a mental illness. You don't have a mental problem. You don't have an emotional problem. You have TMS. TMS is really, when we look at it, your brain is your best friend, and it's just a little bit overprotective. Or a lot overprotective. It's just trying to keep us safe, keep us alive, and give us exactly what we're looking for, right? And so if all day long you're thinking about the pain, the brain is going to go, all right, I guess we should wire that so it stays consistent. The brain is your best friend. It's not your enemy. How about partnering with it? How about, being kind and gentle with it, being like, hey, I know you got me. You're trying to watch my back, but you know what? I got this. I can handle these emotions. I can handle the stressors. I can handle movement. My body's actually okay. So I don't need the pain. You're actually not keeping me safe. You're actually making my life more difficult, more challenging, and miserable. So your brain's not broken. There's nothing wrong with your brain. It is your brain. It doesn't have a mind of its own. Yes, there is a subconscious, and there is a subconscious set of programs that kind of run on autopilot. You get up, you brush your teeth, you get a shower, you get dressed, you go to work. Yeah, some of these things are habits. They're kind of wired in the subconscious. But all that means is those are the instructions your brain's been given. If you don't like the output or the outcome of what you're getting, we need to change with our conscious mind the inputs so that the subconscious can learn you're okay, your body's okay, your thoughts are safe, your emotions are safe. Focusing on the pain is not really going to help me, so I'm going to shift my focus away. I'm going to learn to become indifferent. You can teach your brain virtually anything new that you want to teach it. You want to learn a new card game? You can study it for a few and learn it. You want to learn a new musical instrument? You can sit down and practice it every day. You can learn it. You want to learn a new language? You can learn it. You want to learn to let go of pain? You can teach yourself to stop thinking about it, to stop focusing on it, to stop caring. And the more you can do that and literally engage yourself in life, instead of engaging yourself in your pain and your symptoms and your misery all day, but literally, engage yourself in life, the brain will get the message. The subconscious will get the message. These neural connections that are tightly wound are going to start to loosen up. You're going to start to feel a little bit better. It might come back, but it'll loosen up until, you get to the point where you're feeling great all the time. And there is life after chronic pain. I didn't believe it for a lot of years, over a decade. But it's true. And I've been pain-free, aside from 2 short, 10-day instances. For 10 years, I've been pain-free, except for short blips, short recurrences. That, by using the mindset and the concept I teach every day, I was able to get rid of in 10 days. And don't get me wrong, it's fairly significant. The pain definitely got my attention, but I didn't freak out. I didn't go into catastrophic mode. I didn't fear it and worry that it would become permanent. I knew exactly what it was. And you'll know exactly what it is too, if in fact some of your symptoms come back. Because once you learn this stuff, you've learned it, you've got it. So, there is life after chronic pain. And there's nothing to heal. You're not broken. There's no brain damage. You're not mentally ill. There's nothing that needs fixing, so to speak. But we want to just teach the brain that we're actually safe in our body, in our emotions, in our thoughts, and in our world. And, for anybody who's going to say, but Dan, life is not safe for me. Okay, so make it as safe as possible, in as many ways as possible. And no, we can't change what's going on globally right now. We've got this pandemic going on right now. And who knows what's going on with that. So no, the world is not perfectly safe. But if you look around, it's mostly safe. And as far as your body is concerned, as far as your emotions are concerned, as far as your thoughts are concerned, you are safe. Those things are not broken, damaged, dangerous. So teaching your brain that you're not in danger with your emotions, with your thoughts, and with your body, that can get you out of pain despite what's going on in the world, right? I'm experiencing the same exact stressors as everybody else, but yet I don't have pain. It did not come back as a result of this COVID-19 or the riots and protests going on here in the United States. So stress does not have to equal pain. Emotions do not have to equal pain. We want to break that connection, because just because that's what caused TMS, that doesn't mean it has to persist. Why? Because we know better. We know our body's fine. We know that stress is not dangerous. It's not. It's a normal part of life. We know that our emotions are safe, how we feel them. We know that our thoughts are safe. Why? Because we learn we can just let them go. If we have a dark, nasty, ugly thought, it doesn't define us. We don't have to attach to that and say, oh my God, I can't believe I thought that. Who cares? Let it go. I've got all sorts of weird thoughts. So, there's nothing wrong with your brain. There really isn't. And even if you are coming off of medicine and you've read somewhere that it changes the connections in the brain and the synapses and all that stuff, believe that the body can realign itself and rewire itself. The brain can rewire itself. Just like if you learn a language and you stop speaking it, over time you'll forget it. The brain just realigns itself, reconnects itself, rewires itself, all by itself. You don't have to deinstall Spanish if you stop speaking it. The brain does it automatically. So if you think you've got these horrible withdrawal symptoms that won't let go because your brain is damaged, it can be really tough to get out of that mess. But if you trust that your brain is capable of rewiring feelings of safety and feelings of connectedness to the world, to other people, and learn to turn down the fear because you know you're okay, I believe that these withdrawal symptoms for this one lady can begin to let go when she can begin to trust herself, her body, and her brain to rewire accordingly and let go of these connections that may have been formed by the medicine. Again, I'm not a doctor, not a scientist in that regard, but I just think all the things I talk about on a regular basis definitely apply to her too. Learned pain, learned symptoms can be unlearned. So, what do you guys think? Please comment below. If you like this, share it widely. But I do not believe for one instance that there's something wrong with your brain. So please stop fighting with it. Learn to love it. Thank it for protecting you. And then tell it, I got this. Off you go. Right? I don't need the pain. I'm good. I got this. So, love you guys and gals. We'll talk to you in the next video. See ya.